Today is 4th of February, World Cancer Day. All of us will be shouting now, oh Lord, World Cancer Day, World Cancer Day. Yes, yeah, what's close the care gap? Some people, first of all, don't even have access to these hospitals. Others don't even have access to medication supposed to treat it because they can't afford it. Of course, if somebody has a chance to survive that cancer, this thing is probably going to kill them just simply because they can't afford it. So let me try and explain cancer in the most simple way that I can. We all know that we're made up of cells, right? Yes, small cells that make up this whole thing that you see as me. And now, I hope you know that all the cells I have now were not the cells I was born with. Some of them have died off, many of them have died off. But what happens? Many of them were replaced. And that's because the body sends a message to these cells and tells them, this is time to die off. They die off, they're replaced by new cells, and then the cycle just continues over and over again. However, some cells, let's sit down for this. However, some cells don't get the message that they need to die off, and so they just continue growing. When they continue to grow like this, they form a certain mass called a tumor. Now, a tumor can either be a cancer or be benign. What is the difference? With a benign tumor, it just stays in that particular region. But with a cancerous tumor, it spreads to other parts of the body. Now, I hope that you've been able to understand, because with this, we can now delve in deeper. How exactly does cancer concern you? As you get older, your chance for developing cancer increases. But there are also other daily lifestyle things that we do that can increase your chances of getting cancer. For example, things like alcohol, things like tobacco smoking, certain exposure to certain teratonic agents. And the reason I'm saying all this is because at the bulk of it all, they affect the messages that this cell gets. Many times they cause what we know as genetic mutation in the cells. A cancer may form in one part of the body, but it gets into the bloodstream or the lymphatic system, and then that carries it to a different part of the body where it starts to form a new tumor. All this process is what we call a metastasis. Now, it can happen that a person has cancer of the breast, for instance, and that breast, it gets into the lymphatic system, and from there it gets to the brain or the spine. We call that metastatic cancer. Not all cancers do this, but most malignant cancers have the chance to do this. Now, some of you may want to know what exactly are the symptoms of cancer, especially in its very early stages. Now, there are no specific symptoms. Usually, the very specific symptoms of cancer are found in later stages. In the early stages, many people who seem to be healthy might just come up with signs of cancer, probably because they went to the hospital for a checkup or they did a test and they found out that they had cancer. It's possible. So it is very important that as much as you can, that you go for frequent hospital checkups. Now, if you have a family history of cancer, someone in your family has cancer or died from cancer, it is also very important that you start checking for that particular cancer as early as you can. This makes sense when you think about it, especially cancers like colon cancer. You know, start to check earlier, 10 years before that person died. So if the person died at 40, it is better that you start to check at probably when you're 30. So what are the things that you can do to prevent cancer? Well, as much as you can, there are certain things that are within your control. Number one, avoid tobacco in any form. And this is whether the one you sniff, the one you smoke, the one you taste. Tobacco mainly is a carcinogenic agent and has the ability to cause mutations in cells, which can lead to cancer. Number two, exercise regularly. Simply because exercise has been shown to reduce the chances of you developing cancer, especially breast and other reproductive cancers. So it's important to what? Move your body. Number three, stay lean. Let's face it, obesity increases the risk of many types of cancers. So it is very important that you check your BMI and stay within that particular range. It helps your life and also helps your lifespan. You see what I did there? And then number four, shekbe. Avoid shekbe in any form. Alcohol. Alcohol increases your chances of liver cancer. Liver cancer, and especially other forms of cancer. One of the reasons is alcohol damages your liver, leading to liver cirrhosis, causes changes in the liver. When it causes those changes in the liver, those changes might lead to cancer in one way or the other. So it's very important that you drop the dorime and pick up water. So as I do, let's face it, radiation from any source, especially the one from the sun, has been shown to cause changes in your cells that can lead to cancer. So it is very obvious that if you're going to be under sunlight, especially the afternoon sun, the very harsh ones, you should go with some form of protection. Sunglasses, face caps, and most importantly, sunscreens. If you walk under the sun, please, long sleeve dresses. There are also certain infections that can increase your risk of getting cancers. For example, hepatitis, HPV, which is human papilloma virus, and HIV. So as much as you can, try to protect yourself from these. Why exactly are we making this video? Today is World Cancer Day, 4th of February, 2024 as at the making of this video. And there are a lot of Nigerians who are still dying from cancer. But it's not just that they die from cancer, it's just that many of them do not experience proper care, especially when they have been diagnosed of cancers. And this particular lack of proper care can actually accelerate the rate of deaths from cancer or just decrease their quality of life generally. So wherever we are, you, me, the government, everyone can play a part. We need hospitals and better places. We need people to go for better medical checkups to be able to, first of all, identify this. And even when it's been identified, access to drugs. Look, Nigeria currently has a very high inflation rate. And while we talk about this inflation affecting many parts of the economy, we seem to not talk about how it affects the price of drugs. Because, let's face it, drugs have now cost. And if people can't access the normal drugs, how much more can they access drugs that are supposed to treat cancer? And so we have to come together to stop this pandemic. Stay healthy, try as much as you can to prevent the cancers coming. But even when it happens, we all need to play our part to close the care gap.